All right, guys. So, former President Trump announced that he is going to visit the border wall on June 30th with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Okay, and this will fly under the radar for a lot of people, but this is actually a big deal in regards to the chess match of politics, right? The political game, because there's no doubt in my mind that Trump is trying to play some 3D chess with the Biden administration in regards to the PR of the border crisis, right? And him going to the border undoubtedly is going to put a lot of pressure on the Biden administration to start taking the problem seriously. And it is especially going to put pressure on Kamala, right? In regards to why she hasn't visited the border, especially considering that the former president, who's not even in office yet, who may be looking to run for office in 2024, looks more likely than not at this point, is actually going down there to visit. It seems like he actually cares about the problem. So Trump released a statement about this yesterday, and I'm going to read it to you guys so you understand exactly what Trump is saying here. It says, quote, "I have accepted the invitation of Texas Governor Greg Abbott to join him on an official visit to our nation's decimated southern border on Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. Now, it also must be noted that Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that Texas would build a wall, right? I guess they would finish the wall. As you know, there's been speculation about what Biden's going to do, right? But, he initially got in office and he froze federal funding. And, it's just kind of been in limbo. There are reports that, he wasn't going to keep building the wall, but he was going to, quote, close up some gaps, right? Fill in some gaps, because it's kind of awkward to have gaps in this huge wall, right? So we really didn't know. But most recently, it's basically been announced that, he's basically diverting all funding away from it. He's basically going to try to stop building it. So Texas Governor Greg Abbott comes out and says, you know what? F it. Texas will just finish the wall ourselves. We'll build a wall ourselves. Even though, there are a lot of immigration experts and analysts that say, not sure if that's actually legal or if Texas actually has the authority to do that. But hey, we'll see. I'm not an expert in that stuff. So we'll see what Texas actually does in regards to the wall. But to continue on here, the Biden administration inherited from me the strongest, safest, and most secure border in U.S. history, and in mere weeks, they turned it into the single worst border crisis in U.S. history. It's an unmitigated disaster drone. Kind of facts, right? Kind of facts in terms of it being the worst border crisis in history, right? It's pretty bad. We went from detain and remove to catch and release. We went from having border security that was the envy of the world to a lawless border that is now pitted around the world. Biden and Harris have handed control of our border to cartels, criminals, and coyotes, drug dealers, MS-13 gang members, human smugglers, sex traffickers, and criminal elements of the world now have free reign. Hospitals and schools are getting crushed, and public health is being sacrificed, all in service of a radical left anti-borders agenda. Our brave border agents and courageous ICE officers have been illegally stopped from doing their jobs. Our nation is now one giant sanctuary city where even dangerous criminals are being cut loose and set free inside the U.S. interior on a daily basis. If this wasn't bad enough, Biden and Harris won't even tour the scenes of the wreckage they created or come down and visit with the Border Patrol and ICE heroes risking their lives to defend our nation at a time when the White House is doing everything it can to make their job totally impossible. What Biden and Harris have done and are continuing to do at our border is a grave and willful dereliction of duty. My visit will hopefully shine a spotlight on these crimes against our nation and show the incredible people of ICE and Border Patrol that they have our unshakable support. Media credentialing information will be provided at a later date. All right, so Trump's going to the border, right? And he released this statement basically hammering Biden and Kamala, not only for their policies, right, reversing his policies, but also for their inability to not go to the border, right? Them refusing to go to the border, particularly Kamala Harris. And I told you guys the other day, like a week ago, when I first started covering Kamala in regards to what's been going on with her traveling in Central America, but refusing to cover the border, I said it seemed to me to be obvious that Kamala does not want to go to the border and that she doesn't even want to be in charge of the border crisis. It seems to me that Biden is throwing her under the bus. Okay, they're giving her assignments that they know she cannot win on. And then lo and behold, right, the Daily Caller / Axios basically reports that Kamala Harris's loyalists reportedly think the border crisis was a bad assignment because the president doesn't want to do it himself. Ding, 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 ding. What was I telling you guys? Okay, this stuff is obvious if you just pay attention to politics, what the hell is going on. So let's read here. Former aides to Vice President Kamala Harris reportedly believe President Joe Biden gave her the immigration issue to manage because he did not want to deal with it himself following a widely planned first trip abroad in an official capacity. Quote, if you give someone a bad assignment because the president doesn't want to do it himself, you can't be mad when the treacherous situation looks treacherous. One former aide reportedly told Axios illegal crossings at the U.S. southern border have reached an all-time high, and Harris has drawn criticism from both Republicans and Democrats for her handling of the assignment. Border Patrol captured 180,000 migrants at America's borders with Mexico in May, following 178,000 in April and 173,000 in March. Despite the surge, Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE deported the fewest number of illegal immigrants in agency history, 2,962 in April. Oh my God, bruh. Oh my God. That's so terrible. That's so terrible. Here's the deal. Like I told you guys before the beginning of the video, there is some political chess being played here between Trump and the Biden administration, particularly with Kamala Harris. Because if Trump shows up to the border before Kamala does, that's going to be a really, really, really bad look for her, because a lot of people are going to be like, okay, wait, hold on now. How is it that Trump can make it to the border and to actually look like he cares about this problem, which obviously he does. He acted on it when he was president. He doesn't even have to look like he cares about it. We know he actually does. He visiting these kids in cages, right? These kids wrapped in aluminum foil in these detention centers that Kamala said that they would close, right? He's visiting this place, okay? He's there. He's showing concern about the brave men and women that are our Border Patrol agents that have to deal with this. But yet the vice president has not been there yet. However, she has taken time to show up at a pride parade, okay? She's been everywhere else except the border, right? And Trump, really, this is a genius move for him, because it will ratchet up pressure on her to go, okay? Because at some point, people are going to start to ask the questions of, why is Kamala refusing to go? And the former president going really only makes the crisis seem a lot worse and will only ratchet up the attention on what's going on at the border. And again, like I said, this is a genius move from Trump. And I love it because, like I tell you guys all the time, the key for Republicans is just to don't say stupid things and stay out of the media, right? Stay out of the media for bad things, right? But when it comes to keeping pressure on the Biden administration in regards to the border, the former president going there, even though in reality, you know, it's a photo op, it's not really going to do anything. It does make it look like Kamala is dragging her feet. And it will make the media raise more questions, because people are going to have to cover Trump being there. And the natural question is to ask, well, why isn't the Biden administration there? Okay, and we've seen what happens when Kamala gets hard questions. Okay, she melts down. Biden can't take a hard question, right? He can't mentally process an answer for a hard question. And Kamala is just not cut out to answer hard questions, period. Okay, she just folds. So this administration, with any type of critique, you know, they fall apart. And considering that this border crisis is probably one of the worst border crises we've had in history, they would not be able to handle the pressure of, why is it that Trump is at the border, the former president? Why is he at the border before you guys? Why does he care about this problem more than you guys do, considering the magnitude of this issue? And it would be great TV, right? Seeing Kamala melt once again. And there's really no excuse for it, because we've seen their willingness to go down there to the border and take photo ops under the Trump administration, like I've explained to you guys before. Now, if Kamala now goes down there before Trump, right? If she all of a sudden, it's like, okay, I'm going to the border now. I'm going to beat Trump to the border. Now it looks like she is moving in response to Trump. It looks like she is sweating over Trump, right? So now at this point that Trump has announced that he's going to the border, he's put Kamala Harris in a no-win situation. Because whether she goes or she doesn't go, now it's going to be a bad look regardless. And this is why I said, if I was Kamala, if she was smart, I would have just went on to the border right after I finished visiting Central America. Okay, I would have just went straight down to the border, took the L then, and just been done with it, right? And then start talking about how we should do legislation. That's what I would have done if I was Kamala. But unfortunately, Kamala's not very smart, right? She's not that skilled of a politician. And she decides that because of her ego, she's still going to refuse to go. And now because of that, she's now put herself in a deeper trap. She's dug a deeper hole for Trump now to come in and outflank her on this issue and visit the border himself. Again, not good for PR. Not good for PR, right? So, hey, man, look, Trump's playing a game, right? He's playing the Biden administration, and we will see how this works out. But there will definitely be media attention on Trump being there. And there's no doubt in my mind that it will raise questions about why has Kamala still not visited. And if she does go before Trump, then people will start to ask, well, did Trump make Kamala move, right? Is Kamala sweating Trump? So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.